Hello, and welcome back to another Elevated Marketing Chat. This is Jennifer Denny, and with me I have.
Brenna Jackson, hello, hello.
And today we are talking about stopping the chasing of marketing tactics and start getting marketing results. So, often people come to us and they're like, I need email marketing or I need social media or I need SEO. And it's often rooted in the fact that you've heard these different types of tactics, but it's not really rooted in strategically, like, why do you need these, right?
There's always a why.
None of them are like really solutions to possible problems you have until you figure out that you actually have that problem.
Yeah, yeah. They just aid in those efforts of providing a solution, maybe, if you will.
Yeah, well, it's easier to say I need email marketing with it's harder to say I need email marketing because
Mm,
I don't have a good relationship with existing clients for them to keep coming back and buy additional, you know, services with me.
yeah. And I think this might be pretty common too, especially with like organic social media and all the different social media channels there are. A lot of people may say, oh, well, we need a TikTok. Well,
Why do you think that is? What's the strategy? Like, are you trying to reach a different audience that is on TikTok, or do you think the type of content that you produce would do well on TikTok? Because if you don't have a lot of video content, then, TikTok is not necessarily the best place to be.
yeah. And chances are your audience may not even be over there. So,
No, no. I mean, I think we have this debate internally. Like, I never get on TikTok. If you were trying to reach me, you're not going to hit me on TikTok. I don't like TikTok.
however, you will find me on TikTok.
So, when you don't start with a strategy, which for us, we really have to dig in and understand like what your problem is. And that always starts with your data,
Mhm.
and trying to figure out, okay, do you have traffic to your website that's just not converting? Or do you not even have traffic? And so your problem is you need sources in order to get more traffic to your website.
Yeah. And a lot of times when we are in the onboarding process with new clients, we often find that there are a lot of things, not maybe not a lot, but there are definitely going to be things that almost need to be adjusted or corrected before they're ready for any of the tactics that we may talk about. And that is kind of where that strategy comes into play as well.
Yeah. Yeah. If we take a look at your website and it's not really clear why somebody should choose you over someone else, then, we're not going to drive ads to that website because it's not going to convert. You have a conversion problem.
Hmm. Yep,
Yep.
absolutely.
Or I also think about like social media where there's plenty of people who are posting, but there's no strategy to what they're posting. Like there's no targeting, there's no, they haven't really adjusted their messaging to talk, to who they want to talk to.
Yeah.
Um, or they're writing blog posts and there's no strategy behind like what they're writing.
Yes. Yeah, the intent behind that. I think about too, like even the consistency of those postings, whether it's on a blog or it's social media, that I think that definitely plays a part as well.
Yeah, yeah. So sometimes I think too, like people when they go to look at their metrics, they don't understand what the metric would be indicative of. So like for instance, if you have like a high click-through rate, let's say on your ads, but you have low conversions, that would be indicative that your landing page is not providing enough value for people to take the next step.
Yeah. Yeah, and that also is all in your messaging for sure. And as old school as it might feel for me to say, like, just making sure that the messaging on your ads is also reflective on those landing pages.
Mhm. Yeah. Or you have a longer sales cycle. And so the solution to your problem is better remarketing. Like
Mhm.
you need a better offer. You need a better reason to make that decision, right now. That's what good marketing will do for you.
Yeah, for sure. I also think about maybe more specifically with email marketing. Maybe you've got high open rates. So a lot of people are seeing your subject lines and they're opening your emails, but you have low click through rates. And so they just aren't quite engaging once they're inside of your email. They're not clicking through. That could that could very well mean that there's just a disconnect between maybe what your subject line was and the content that's actually in your email. I don't wanna say that's an easy fix, but that's a good way to look at it when you're looking at performance of, "Okay, well, what do I need to adjust if my click-through rate is low, but they're opening my email?"
Yeah. Yeah. Another one I think about is lots of traffic, but you've figured out that you have a high bounce rate. So, obviously at that point, or at least obviously as me as a marketer, I'm like, okay, well, you probably have a site speed problem. You need to look at that. Or again, your messaging, they come in and they had this ad, or they came in from social media and they did not land in the place that continues the conversation and brings them down.
Yeah. Or overall, maybe your site speed is fine, your messaging is fine, but the user experience provided on your site itself is not very good.
Yep.
Maybe that's the layout, maybe that's navigation. It could be a lot of things included in that user experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's a long list of these that, you've got to kind of match the metric to what specifically tactic wise would help solve that.
Mhm.
And, that could be, adding another tactic such as email marketing or content marketing or whatever have you, but you really need to look at your metrics to understand and develop a strategy that's going to help solve those real world business problems. I mean, if you don't look at that, then you're just, random marketing activity and you're not actually using a strategy to solve those.
Yeah, definitely going in blind and trying to chase some of these tactics is not only going to eat away at your time, but your money as
Yeah.
well.
So I think you either have, you know, 3 problems. You either have an awareness problem, so people don't know that you even exist. You have a lead quality problem, so the leads that are coming in are no good and they're not closing, or you have a conversion problem where you're just not even getting any leads, and so you're driving traffic just to drive traffic and you're not driving the right kind of traffic. I
Mhm.
mean, pretty much boils down to those 3, and then there's a whole bunch of metrics in between.
I think you're right on the money there.
Alright, anything you think I missed in that?
Um, I think it's as maybe grueling as it sounds to really dig into your metrics, like Jennifer said, it really is where that starts. And so even down to the very beginning stages of setup on some of these things is gonna help you a lot long term.
Yep. All right. Well, that is it for today. If you enjoyed today's show, certainly head over to our website at elevatedmarketing.solutions and sign up for our newsletter, or you can follow me, Jennifer Denny, on LinkedIn. All right. Take care now.